After killing Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei in a massive airstrike, Israel strikes Tehran yet again. Thick plumes of black smoke towered over Tehran from rooftops in the capital. Distant explosions echoed across the skyline. Entire neighborhoods were swallowed by dense, choking clouds. Social media images showed shockwaves rippling through the city, including near the iconic Azadi Tower, as multiple blasts struck the heart of Tehran. Israel declared that for the first time under Operation Roaring Lion, its forces were striking targets linked to what it called the Iranian terror regime in central Tehran. The Israeli Air Force said it had launched sweeping attacks to establish aerial superiority and pave the path to Tehran. Iranian state media confirmed explosions in the north and west of the city. The Iranian Red Crescent reported strikes near its headquarters and several hospitals, while blasts were also reported close to Iran's state broadcasting complex. U.S. President Donald Trump confirmed that major combat operations had been underway in Iran and issued a stark ultimatum to the country's security forces. He warned members of the Revolutionary Guard, armed forces, and police to lay down their weapons and accept immunity or face certain death. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced the joint U.S.-Israeli campaign aimed at eliminating what he described as an existential threat posed by Tehran. The assault marked a dramatic escalation, coming after 3 recent rounds of nuclear talks held in Muscat and Geneva.
My fellow citizens of Israel, this morning Israel and the United States embarked on a combined operation to eliminate the existential threat to Israel posed by the Ayatollah regime in Iran. I told you this morning that this fateful operation will continue for as long as it is necessary, and it will also require great patience.
I wish to express my gratitude to my friend President Donald Trump for his truly historic leadership. He is a leader who consistently honors his commitments and stands by his word. I had the opportunity to speak with him once again this morning, and I wholeheartedly welcome the exceptionally close cooperation that exists between our nations, a partnership that has elevated the alliance between Israel and the United States to an unprecedented all-time high, an alliance for peace and an alliance in war.
Iran responded with force. Strikes were reported against U.S. military assets and bases believed to support American and Israeli operations. Explosions rocked parts of UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Jordan, Oman, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia. Airspace closures swept across the region, with Iran, Israel, Bahrain, Iraq, Qatar, and Kuwait shutting down their skies, and temporary restrictions imposed in the UAE. More than 200 people are reported killed inside Iran following the strikes. The crisis spilled beyond Iran's borders. In Pakistan's port city of Karachi, furious protesters stormed the heavily fortified U.S. consulate compound. According to local emergency workers, at least 6 people were killed and 20 injured as hundreds broke through security barricades, smashing windows with sticks as flames flickered inside the building. Gunshots rang out in videos circulating online. Police said the protest had been driven by outrage over the U.S.-Israeli assault on neighboring Iran. In Baghdad, tensions were equally explosive. Protesters, angered by the killing of Iran's supreme leader, attempted to push toward the heavily guarded Green Zone, home to Iraqi government offices and the sprawling U.S. embassy. Tear gas and loud blasts were reported as security forces tried to disperse the crowds. Meanwhile, Iran's parliament speaker, Mohammad Bagher Khalibaf, vowed revenge, declaring that the United States and Israel had crossed a red line and would face painful blows that would make them beg for mercy. Trump fired back with another warning. If Iran struck harder, America's response would be a force never seen before.
Right here very clearly and explicitly, I tell Trump, Netanyahu, and their agents and operatives, I reiterate, I tell both these two vile criminals and all their agents, you have crossed our red line and you will pay the price for it. We will inflict such devastating and horrific blows upon you that you yourselves will be brought to your knees begging for mercy. You will very soon realize that these fanciful, imaginary delusions of yours will not endure for more than just a few short days.
Scores of protesters attacked the U.S. consulate in Karachi City of Pakistan after they stormed the diplomatic facility and resorted to vandalism against the killing of Iranian supreme leader. The protesters were dragged out of the consulate premises by police and security forces, leading to violent clashes that has reportedly caused casualties. Also, hundreds of Iraqis surged towards the heavily fortified Green Zone on early Sunday, attempting to storm the U.S. Embassy after the killing of Iran's Ali Khamenei. A security source said their repeated attempts were thwarted, but the crowds kept pressing forward. Videos circulating on social media showed protesters allegedly hurling stones at Iraqi security forces who responded with tear gas. The video showed hundreds waving flags of pro-Iran armed factions as tensions escalated across central Baghdad. The demonstration was organized by supporters of Shiite armed groups angered by recent airstrikes on Iran and reports that Khamenei and several senior officials had been killed. Protesters attempted to march toward the U.S. Embassy inside the Green Zone, which houses key Iraqi government offices and diplomatic missions. Security forces moved swiftly to contain the unrest. Riot police pushed back demonstrators at barricades and fired tear gas near the suspension bridge, a key access point to the diplomatic enclave. Thick clouds of gas filled the air as crowds scattered and regrouped. No immediate casualties were confirmed, but the standoff remained tense. The chaos revived memories of late 2019 when demonstrators breached parts of the U.S. Embassy perimeter shortly before a U.S. drone strike killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, commander of the Quds Force of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in January 2020. Meanwhile, Iran's Supreme National Security Council declared that the supreme leader's death would mark the beginning of a great uprising against the tyrants of the world. The Iranian government announced 40 days of national mourning and declared a 7-day public holiday, suspending state institutions and public events. As Baghdad's streets simmered, the region braced for deeper escalation in an already volatile Middle East. In a dramatic and meticulously timed operation, Israel and the United States launched a sweeping military strike on Iran just as Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei was meeting his closest advisors. Multiple U.S. sources say confirmation of that high-level gathering set the joint air and naval assault into motion, a calculated bid to strike at the very core of Iran's power structure and eliminate its supreme leader before he could disappear into hiding. According to Israeli officials, Khamenei was killed alongside several top lieutenants, including top advisor Ali Shamkhani and Mohammad Pakpour, a senior commander within the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Iranian sources told Reuters that Khamenei had convened a crucial meeting on Saturday with Shamkhani and senior official Ali Larijani at a secure location shortly before the first explosions erupted. A senior Israeli official later claimed that Khamenei's body had been located following the strikes. U.S. President Donald Trump declared on his Truth Social platform that American intelligence had precisely tracked Khamenei's movements. He asserted that Iran's top leader was unable to avoid our intelligence and highly sophisticated tracking systems, emphasizing that working closely with Israel, there was not a thing he or the other targeted leaders could do to escape. U.S. officials suggest the strike had to eliminate Khamenei at the outset to preserve the element of surprise, amid concerns that any delay might allow him to retreat into fortified underground networks. Sources reveal that Khamenei had initially been expected to hold the meeting later in the evening in Tehran. However, Israeli intelligence reportedly detected an earlier Saturday morning session, prompting planners to accelerate the timeline. Within hours, coordinated strikes pounded strategic locations across Iran. Among the first targets was Khamenei's high-security compound in Tehran. Satellite imagery later reviewed by Reuters confirmed that the compound had been reduced to rubble at the beginning of the operation.
To the great nation of Iran, it is with immense sorrow and profound grief that we announce that the lofty spirit of the esteemed leader of the great nation of Iran and the revered vanguard of the Islamic Ummah, His Holiness Imam Khamenei, has, by partaking of the sweet nectar of martyrdom during the blessed and holy month of Ramadan, ascended to the highest realms of the divine, joining the eternal abode of the righteous.
Meanwhile, before an internet blackout took effect, videos circulated online shared by Iranian diaspora outlets appeared to show groups of Iranians celebrating in the streets following Israeli and U.S. strikes on key military and government targets, killing Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei. The military action has thrust the Middle East into an alarming and unpredictable new chapter. Iran has already launched retaliatory attacks against Israel and nearby Gulf Arab states, escalating fears of a broader regional war. Intelligence sources told CBS News that as many as 40 senior Iranian officials may have been killed in the strikes, though Tehran has yet to confirm the full extent of the casualties. Even before the assault, U.S. intelligence assessments warned that the removal of Khamenei could open the door for hardline factions within the IRGC to consolidate power. With no clear succession plan publicly outlined and tensions surging across the region, the aftershocks of this high-stakes operation are only beginning to unfold. The balance of power in the Middle East now hangs in the balance as the world watches for Iran's next move.